this weekend is AEW Redemption, the first pay-per-view of its kind, and yeah, it's looking like a pretty decent show. There's quite a bit of predictable stuff going on. You know, we're quite clearly on the road to the biggest show of the year, being All In. So yeah, it won't be the most in-depth predictions I've ever done, because, as I say, some things are very one-sided towards where they're going. But I think it's going to be a really good show. I think this is kind of a really good wrestling show for the sake of doing a really good wrestling show. Personally, I would have maybe just made Grand Slam Mexico pay-per-view and done it in a couple of weeks, but I'm looking forward to that as well, to be fair. But yeah, we'll go through the predictions of AEW Redemption, talk a little bit about why and stuff like that. But as I said, it's just not going to be as in-depth because it's fairly predictable where things are going here. So to start off with the two matches that I don't have graphics for, unfortunately, which is first the ladder match for the number one contendership for the International Championship. Apparently Mystico got hurt during one of the CMML shows, so he might not be around. Well, he won't be around for Redemption. There will be a concern with me whether he'll be around for Grand Slam Mexico. But we have a ladder match. It's Jungle Jack Perry, Commander, Speedball Mike Bailey, AR Fox or Nick Wayne, Leo Rush or El Clon, and the Beast Mortos, which, to be fair, it's a good array of people. You've kind of got all styles kind of taken up quite well here. I assume out of people qualifying, I'd like to see Nick Wayne in the match and get him back into wrestling on AEW television more often rather than Ring of Honor, and put Leo Rush in the match just for a bit of a laugh. I think that's what they'll do. I don't think the Doncaster family is going to want a Doncaster family member going after Carl Fletcher. So, yeah, put Leo Rush in the match. He'll be funny, and you know what he's like. You know, it's like Leo Rush is an absolute mentalist, but it's funny. Personally, predictions for that match, I would like to see Jack Perry get the win here and get him back into title contention in AEW. But I feel like the story makes more sense for it to be Speedball Mike Bailey. So that was going to be my prediction. I'm going to go with Speedball Mike Bailey to win the ladder match. And then going on to the second match that I don't have a graphic for yet because they haven't released them, which is the tag team chain match between Bang Bang Gang members Juice Robinson and Jay White, taking on the Dogs, being David Finlay and Clark Connors. For me, I would probably give the win to the Dogs here. I know it's very easy to give the Bang 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 the win, but Jay White got the win on Dynamite last night, so I don't feel like he needs the win as much. They give the Dogs a win back, and then they can have some kind of big blow-off match, which I assume might be some kind of trios match involving Gabe Kidd, hopefully, if he's okay to wrestle, which I think he's wrestling in Japan, I believe. So hopefully he'll be around and they can have some kind of a multi-man team because they can bring the Death Riders in as allies to help them even the numbers of the Bang Bang Gang. But yes, I'm going to go with the... Or am I? That's the question. No, actually, I am going to go with the Bang 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 to win. Jay White, they're trying to build momentum for. I assume this is for something to do with All In. Maybe they do Jay White versus John Moxley at All In. That's what I thought they might do. So, yeah, I think they're kind of feuding-ish. Yeah, I think the Bang Bang going to get the win. Jay White gets another victory on his road back to championship contention. And yeah, those are my two predictions for the matches I don't have graphics for, essentially. Following that, we have Mark Davis defending the national championship against Andrade El Idolo. How you know? Well, it's announced on the pay-per-view. That's how we know. But yeah, for me, I'm going to go with Andrade to get the win here. I feel like it's so quite nice for him to win a championship, and the whole point of the national championship, I assume, just like the international championship, is that they defend it elsewhere, and Andrade can do that quite easily with his Latino roots. So yeah, I feel like he would be a better national champion as well. Not that Mark Davis hasn't been a great champion. His few matches with Jack Perry and Speedball Mike Bailey were very good. So I feel like he's been a pretty good champion, but he still feels very unimportant. And with the return of Jake Doyle, I assume that him and Jake Doyle will go back into the tag division like it was originally planned. So yes, I feel like getting the national championship off him might be important. And giving it to Andrade is probably the best thing to do right now because he has a lot of good babyface momentum behind him right now. Following that, we have Hikaru Shida defending the TBS championship against a very momentum-full Maya World. And yeah, do I feel like Maya World is going to use that momentum to win her first championship? Yeah, no. No, I don't know. It definitely could happen. Do not get me wrong. This is probably one of the harder matches to predict for the night. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be Maya World just yet. I feel like she's going to have, if anything, she might be a dark horse to win the Women's Casino Gauntlet if they do one at All In this year. But no, I feel like Hikaru Shida is going to cheat or do some kind of shenanigan-filled thing to retain her championship in a very heel-like way, the way that she has been doing recently. So yeah, for me, as much as I think my World getting the win here will be a huge moment for her, I feel like they're maybe holding off a little bit for a bigger moment. As I said, maybe winning the Casino Gauntlet at Wembley will be a massive moment for her to win a #1 contendership contract. So yeah, I'm going to go with Hikaru Shida. I feel like there's more stories to tell with Hikaru Shida as a heel champion, as we haven't really seen that version of her recently on AEW. So yeah, I'm going to stick with Hikaru Shida winning retaining the TBS championship. But don't get me wrong, it would not shock me if they put that title on my World. Following that, we have the World Tag Team Championships on the line as Christian Cage and the other guy are defending against Claudio Castagnoli and Pac in a match that I'm very confident in saying that Christian Cage will lead his team to victory against the Death Riders, which is a bit of a shame because I feel like Claudio and Pac could be a really top tag team, and I feel like they should have come together as a team way earlier than they actually have done. So hopefully they stay doing tag team stuff, as well as Garcia and Yuta as well also build themselves up as a tag team, or maybe they go for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. But yeah, this could be a phenomenal team in Claudio and Pac, but going straight up against the champions just before All In, with the Young Bucks having a big match on the show as well, it's just not happening. Cage and the other guy, Adam Copeland, I believe his name might be, they'll get the win, they'll retain here, and then go on to All In to, I assume, face the Young Bucks, which, I mean, I feel like it's just a general consensus. It'd be silly if they didn't do that match at this point. So yeah, pretty easy prediction to make here. After that, we have Painmaker Chris Jericho taking on Psycho Killer Tommaso Ciampa in a no-holds-barred match. This could be really good, actually. It's just two old guys beating each other up, essentially. But I have Chris Jericho to get the win here because Canada, basically. You know, Ciampa already has a 1 win over Jericho. Jericho gets his win back here. They have a one last match at some point. I don't think it'll be a Grand Slam. It'll just be a Dynamite match, I assume. And then they might both be in the Casino Gauntlet come All In, I assume. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be a great match. It's going to be very hard hitting. And yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of blood involved here. A lot of Jericho kind of throwing himself around for Ciampa a lot, and Ciampa throwing himself around for Jericho. I feel like it's going to be a dark horse for Match of the Night, maybe. I don't know how good this is going to be, because they're both kind of old, but they can both still go in the ring, absolutely. So yeah, it could be a pretty decent match, actually. The no holds bar thing is very interesting. I'm hoping that they kind of really go for it, but I hope that with like every no holds bar, no DQ match, so you know how it is. But yeah, I got Chris Jericho to get the win, basically because it's in Canada, and it'll make it 1-1 if Jericho wins. Following that, we have Bandido challenging Carl Fletcher for the AEW International Championship in what could honestly be a Match of the Year contender. And I know I said this about Bandido and Swerve and Bandido and Moxley recently, but Bandido is so good in the ring. But then you put him with a youngster like Carl Fletcher, who is also incredible in the ring, and there's no way this isn't absolutely brilliant to watch. And yeah, for me, I'm going to go with Carl Fletcher retain here. I feel like he has a big match coming at Wembley. A lot of people have been putting forward the triple threat match, or the three-way dance, or the three-way match, depending on whichever company you want to be in, of Fletcher versus Okada versus Takeshita. Don't tease me with a good time, is all I'm saying, because that sounds incredibly good to watch. Personally, I would have maybe done, I put in my video Takeshita versus Gabe Kidd. I wasn't expecting Carl Fletcher to actually win the championship at Beach Break, so that was silly on my account. But it is what it is. But yeah, for me, I think Carl Fletcher is going to go into All In as champion. I feel like Bandido might have a very good shot in the Casino Gauntlet for the men. Again, assuming that's what they're going to do. But All In having two kind of Royal Rumble matches, hell yes. So yeah, hopefully this thing. But as I said, for me, this is less about the result and more about match quality. And this might be one of the best AEW matches of the year. Like, you can clip this here. That's what I'm saying. This could be one of the best matches of the year. That we have Tekla defending the Women's World Championship against Willow Nightingale, and this for me is a full-gone conclusion. Willow Nightingale is becoming the new Women's Champion here, and they're going to do exactly what they did with Willow Nightingale with the TBS Championship, as they are going to do here with the World Championship. Because if you remember a few years back when Mercedes Moné was brand new, debuting at Double or Nothing in her first match, Julia Hart was TBS Champion. Julia Hart lost the TBS Championship to Willow Nightingale at Dynasty. And then Willow, a month later, dropped the belt to Mercedes Moné at Double or Nothing. And then Mercedes Moné would have it for a stupidly long time. This is exactly what's happening here. Willow Nightingale is defeating Tekla here at Redemption. She's going to hold it for a month. Mercedes Moné is going to take it from her all in. It's not great. It's going to add massively to the feud that is Mercedes Moné versus Willow Nightingale. And it's arguably one of the better women's rivalries within AEW and New Japan kind of mixed together. But yeah, I feel like this is kind of the way they're going just because it just makes the most storyline sense that Willow gets the win here. If Willow were to retain All In, I feel like that would be huge for her. And I kind of hope it happens, but I can't see them not putting the belt on Mercedes Moné because she's such a draw. But no, for me, this has been a foregone conclusion since Willow won the Casino Gauntlet. She wins title here, faces Moné at All In. Sorted. So yeah, Willow Nightingale's going to become the new women's champion. Following that, we have what could be one of the biggest tag matches ever. That might be a little bit far, to be fair. But we have the Death Riders, Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley taking on the Young Bucks. Basically just because. I mean, the Young Bucks put out the challenge, they accepted, or vice versa. Or, I don't know, whoever put the challenge out, they accepted, is what it is. But one thing the Young Bucks are very, very, very good at is getting awesome tag matches out of mostly singles guys. You look back at Hangman and Omega from Revolution, one of the greatest tag team matches of all time in AEW. Takeshita and Okada last year at the Wrestle Dream, I believe. Fantastic match. I know, Wrestle Dream was Pro Dido. At some point, Okada and Takeshita faced the Young Bucks, and it was awesome. Other people that those two have faced... Oh, Swerve and Ospreay at last year's All In. Absolutely phenomenal match. My brother said it was one of the best AEW matches he's ever seen. So, yeah, this is going to be the Young Bucks at their tag team best, taking on Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley, who are just the best in ring on a day off. So, yeah, this is going to be an awesome, awesome match. Again, concentrating more on in-ring quality rather than result. As far as the result goes, Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay are going to get the win here. I think Ospreay needs that momentum going into All In. The Young Bucks don't need to win this match. Even if you go, oh, well, you know, they're going to face Edge and Christian. Christian and whoever that guy is. They're going to face those guys at All In. I don't think that really matters. The Young Bucks can pretty much get a title match whenever they want, and it doesn't really matter how they get there. They can just do what would be an awesome idea, doing a tag team Casino Gauntlet. That'd be pretty cool. Or just doing some kind of battle royal, or you know what I mean. They've done tag team number one contenders matches before, and the Young Bucks have won them, and they're going to facing the champions. Very easily done. I don't feel like the Young Bucks need to win this match to get to the tag team championship match at All In. Whereas Ospreay getting a win here, getting a good performance in on pay-per-view, only builds his hype going into All In. So yeah, I feel like Moxley and Ospreay are going to get the win here, but yeah, I feel like, as I said, this is going to be more about in-ring quality, and this could be absolutely phenomenal. Finally, in the main event, we have Kenny Omega defending the AEW World Championship against TNT champion Kevin Knight, because it's just a trope at this point for the TNT champion to face the world champion at some point in the year. Last year, it was Hangman and Carl Fletcher. The year before that, it was somebody and somebody. Yes. But yes, we have this champion vs champion match. Do I think Kenny Omega is going to lose the title before All In? Not unless he gets very, 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 very injured again. That's the only way I can see them putting the title on Kevin Knight. So no, I don't think they are going to put the title on Kevin Knight here. I think it's going to stay on Kenny Omega. And yeah, Kenny Omega versus Ospreay All In. Not the match I really wanted here. It really isn't. I really wanted MJF versus Ospreay as a rematch at All In, but it is what it is. Hopefully they have as good a match. They're not gonna. Who am I kidding? Kenny Omega is not the wrestler he once was. There is no way the Ospreay and Omega have the same match quality that they did at Forbidden Door 2023. No chance. So, do I think that Kevin Knight might carry this match a little bit? Absolutely. But he has been absolutely fantastic over the past year. He has a win over Okada, for crying out loud. So, yeah, I feel like this is going to be an absolutely fantastic match. Do I think it's going to be match of the night? Probably. I think if the Young Bucks match doesn't become match of the night and Fletcher Bandido is a match of the night, this one definitely will be. But I can't see those two matches let me down. So I feel like those two are going to be best. And this one isn't going to be as good, but it's still going to be good nonetheless, if that makes sense. But yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that says Kenny Omega will still be world champion coming out of Redemption. So those are my predictions for AEW Redemption 2026, or AEW Redemption General, as is the first one. But yeah, do put down in the comments below what you think is going to happen on the show, what your predictions are. I am curious to see where people go because, as I said, it does seem like a very predictable show, and it's going to be more about wrestling quality and just how good these guys are on pay-per-view and wrestling in general. But yeah, do put your comments down below who you think is going to win and all that stuff. There's a lot of good stuff content-wise coming out soon. The 7th episode of the Retrospective is going to be out soon. It's all about WWE throughout 2007, so do check that out. That is out on the 28th. This weekend, I'm doing my top 10 Hell in a Cell matches, ready for SummerSlam next week when Oba destroys Brock inside Hell in a Cell. And there's also been quite a few episodes of the Top 100. Keith Lee is out now, Tessa Blanchard out now, and so much more, so do go check that out, as well as my all-in card I'd like to see. That came out a few days ago, so do go check that out as well as my second channel, which is all about music. Yeah, I've been putting together a music channel, essentially. So go check that out. There is a link to it in the description below. And yes, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.